Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your April bonus reading for the elemental energy of air. Air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. I read for the elements versus the zodiac. It's bit more comfortable for me. I have links in other videos for the reason for that. I haven't added to these videos, but that's all right. If you've never had your charts read and you're curious as to what your astrology charts are, or if you're curious as to what your elemental alignment is, there is a link in the description for a natal chart. It's not a sponsorship or anything like that. It's just a really good tool. Gives you the basics of what's in your chart, the chart itself, all 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then it gives you a report that's 10 to 20 pages long, depending on what's in the chart, telling you what all those little dots mean, and also gives you your elemental alignment, which is pretty cool because it gives you kind of an idea of where you stand in life as far as earth, air, fire, water, and surprisingly, if you look at just that aspect, it's exceptionally accurate because usually you're a blend of 2, if not 3 different elements, and sometimes that's as accurate as the full zodiac with all of the chart information in it. So it's something to look into. If you're interested in any of the decks that I am using, you can check out links in the description for those. I read intuitively, and I'm using the Celtic Cross for our bonus, and there's a couple of things that I shift because it makes more sense to me to have them in this perspective. So if you're wondering why certain spots are different, that's the reason that it makes more sense. So where you are at right now, air, this is the significator. This is in this moment the totality of you, not anything else. We have the 5 of Wands. So when we're looking at this, we're looking at a little bit of fire energy, and there's a little bit of conflict going on here. So air, there's a little bit of, they're saying it could be an internal conflict for some, and for others it's like this job stress where you're just not sure where you stand right now, but there's a lot of movement and it feels stressful. So I do apologize, air, but it's starting off to be a little bit of a stress situation for you. The beauty of this is it's not a long-term thing is what I'm hearing. This is really in the moment, it's overwhelmed. It's just like spinning, everything's going chaotic. But this is not a long-term situation. It's a flash in the pan type energy. So they're saying don't be too overwhelmed right now. Accept what's happening and find your peace within it, and you'll be able to pass through this a lot easier. So your crossing in energy, a challenge, roadblocks, things like that. We have the 7 of Wands with this one, and this is saying you feel like you're standing against the crowd. You're the only one that's being attacked right now, or you're the only one that's being able to step up into a position of authority, which is actually beneficial, air, because that means that you are the one who's paying attention to what's really going on and you're pushing back. The challenge is it's never easy when you're the one standing by yourself. The upside of it is if you're the one standing for truth and honesty, nothing really can come against you. So the challenge is being able to hold your ground. Are you willing to stand there and deal with the slings and arrows knowing you can deal with it? Or are you going to kind of like step back and be like, you know what, I'm out? Which is not always the easiest decision. Sometimes it's necessary. So this is not saying you have to stand there and take it. It's saying, are you willing to stand there? And if not, here's an exit strategy. So they're saying that if it's a work situation, you're getting some place to escape out of it if it's just like, this is not what I signed up for type of a thing. Your higher self energy is the 2 of Swords. This is working with the energy of stepping away to recover. And this is what the higher self wants to bring forward is, yeah, you're in a little bit of conflict right now. Swords are your energy, air. And it's saying that this is a good time for a mental retreat. Read a fun book. Do something creative that triggers your brain and focuses it. This is a time for you to step away. Your higher self is saying, you see the chaos that's going on. You understand the conflicts and you understand where you're standing in the moment. Those are not the most pleasant situations. So your higher self is saying, take 2 minutes out of your day and step back. Allow yourself the beauty of recovery. Allow yourself the beauty of peace and quiet. Put up your defenses, like leave me alone. I'm putting the do not disturb on the door. Just give yourself the time for that quiet time. It's going to help energize and refresh you. So your shadow is the energy that's your subconscious, the stuff that you're not fully aware of right now, is the Six of Swords. They're calling your shadow, saying don't be on the boat burying yourself. Fly above the situation and observe. So you don't want to get too deep in the weeds with whatever's going on right now, Air. The shadow is saying, even though this is not how you would like to act or you normally would act, at this particular time, it might be a good idea to step away from the situation and observe. You are being observed and guided. There's a little dragon baby on top of the big one there. So people that are impressionable are observing how you are responding to this situation. And in this situation, it's more work related. But they're also observing how you're dealing with it and stepping back and being able to observe and not interact so that you can get a clear picture of what's really going on. Air, this is kind of your thing anyway. So it's your shadow is saying, don't forget your unique and specific gifts. Air works with intellect, logic, reason. On the negative side, it's being frivolous, airheaded, and dreamy. So you want to make sure you're working with the more analytical side of things here. But your shadow is saying, why did you forget who you are? Why are you in the middle of it? Step back. Observe from a higher perspective. That way you can actually see what's going on and you can make informed decisions. They're saying that when you're in the middle of the situation, you don't always see clearly who's right and who's wrong. And so this is where, yes, your crossing energy is you're the one standing up and you're kind of being attacked for it. But the shadow is saying, maybe this is a time to step back and observe. So you've got the higher self saying, take time to quiet, recover, be alone, do your self-care routine. And your shadow, which is usually the thing that tries to work against you, is actually tapping you on the shoulder being like, dude, you have skills and gifts. Why are you burying yourself in the middle of this? So your shadow's kind of poking at you a little bit like, hello, you've got other things you could be doing. So your immediate past, and this is a past time period, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, however the cycle sets up for you, is the Hermit. So your past, you've kind of been a loner. And that's not always a bad thing, but this is how you learned, is you stepped back, you incorporated, but it also allowed you to, just 1 second. It also allowed you to experience life in a different way so that you can actually see what's going on. So your immediate past was a great time for learning, but it was a lot of solo learning is what I was hearing there. So it's not a matter of your past was, I was so lonely and I was so alone. It was actually, I needed you all to leave me alone so I could learn and study. And now that you have those gifts, remember, your higher self and your shadow, weirdly enough, are working in conjunction right now. Higher self is saying, take the time to step back. Remember your hermit period. And your shadow is saying, don't forget your skills. You have gifts. Use them appropriately in the middle of your chaos, because you're kind of... Sorry, I have a small desk. This is you. You're in the middle of a little bit of conflict right now. And so knowing when to step back, when to observe, and when to observe from the higher frequency is really going to be beneficial for you. Your immediate future is the Nine of Swords. Things may not play out the way you anticipated. That does not mean it's going to be bad. What it's saying is, do not get too attached to a specific outcome. The dragon down here is having kind of a vision image of losing. So this is not a... Don't get wrapped up in the dream or the vision or the illusion of losing. You still are bound by the truth. And in this card, if you see, the sword is wrapped in fire. So the conflict has to come to an end. And sometimes you have to cut away things to be able to see that. But doing that period of cutting away may not be the most comfortable thing for you, Air. This reading is coming off a little intense in that respect because you're dealing with a lot of conflicting energies. You've got fire, you've got your own element of air, and you've got a little bit of the Hermit works with water and air from what my experience. Everyone's going to see it different, so there's that. And so you've got a little bit of conflict here, and it's about passion overcoming knowledge, whereas you, air, have to overcome the passion, and that's that fire, that's that conflict. So the Nine of Swords is saying you're almost to the end of all of this. Your immediate future is going to, say, conclude it well, but there's going to be a period where you have to cut some stuff away, and the illusion is you may feel like you have actually lost. The reality is a little different than that, and we'll get a little more clarity here in a second. But it's definitely going to feel like in your future that you may have lost the battle, but that's not quite the case. Your current attitude, this is your inner world. We have the Eight of Swords, feeling a little tied up, like you can't defend yourself. This inner aspect, your inner attitude right now is really conflicted, but what they're wanting to say is, notice how thin those vines are. You, being the dragon in the middle, have the right to break free of where you're at. Grab one of those swords and start hacking away. This is an illusion that you're feeling wrapped up, you're feeling tied up. You don't know what direction to go. You're feeling a little overwhelmed or a lot overwhelmed. And they're wanting to say this is not a permanent situation. When you really get back to being able to look at something, analyze it, break it down, sort it out, air, your energy is with the conscious mind. It's that computer programming aspect. You have the ability to shift all of this. It's a matter of where you're feeling right now may not be the most pleasant thing, but what God Source Divine wants to bring in right now is you're the one in control. Yeah, you might feel chaotic inside. There might be conflict going on all around you. The illusion of not being able to succeed is what it's looking for. When you look forward, that's what you think you see, because that's the illusion being presented. But that illusion is because of this stuff. It's that inner conflict is making you feel like you don't have other options. The reality is you do. So your environment, this is the outside world, this is stuff that you don't have a lot of say on. It's the Five of Swords. You're feeling conquered. Not true. Because you have the thought or the feeling that this guy down here is you. Remember, you're the dragon. You're the one with the sword in your hand. Therefore, you're the one who is going to be able to conquer. Now, when we're talking outside world energy, this is the stuff going on around you that you don't really have a say in or control over. This is implying or indicating that there's another energy coming in to defend you, quite possibly another air energy of some form. And that's going to be a support where you thought that you were done, like you weren't going to be able to do this, but this outside force comes in and is like, listen, let's do this and let's conquer this. So you're dealing with the situation appropriately, and it's when the support comes in for you, air, what I'm hearing is the people who are moving against you, the energy that's moving against you is not going to have a leg to stand on, because this other force that comes in is going to bond or tie in with you, and that's going to make an incredible amount of pushback where they're not going to be able to keep it up. Think of like that high school bully. Oh, I'm so tough, I'm so this, I'm so that. But when three people step up, all of a sudden he's not so tough anymore. And that's what's coming up here is you've got a group that's going to come in to help you. They're saying it could be physical or spiritual, so however that manifests. But when they come forward, the enemy, the conflict, the thing that's working against you is really just going to flee because they really don't have a leg to stand on. That's that illusion aspect of what's going on here. So, your hopes and fears. We have the Sire of Pentacles. This is working with this energy of your hope is being able to conquer everything so that you can pass things on to the next generation. You want to be able to train others, if it's a work environment, to be able to deal with these conflicts as well. And what I'm hearing is your hope is coming out on the other side successful, get your coins, and that allows you to move forward. Sometimes you have to play a little bit at how that shows and how that comes forward. With this image, the dragon is showing his son or his child how to protect, and you're getting a little playful energy here. It's not like I'm going to beat you up. It's more of, come on, are you willing to do this? You are the one who's showing others. this is what you have to do in some of these situations. When you're leading, you're managing, you're whatever position it is, these aren't always fun. And if it's in the home life type of thing, sometimes you have to be the one that steps up and says, no, this is what we're going to do. This was where the problem was. How are we going to move forward to fix it? Be the leader, show the example, is what your hope is. Your fear is that you're going to fail, that other people are judging you so harshly that you can't actually do anything. But again, you get to pick the decision here. Hopes and fears are the two paths moving forward. Which one do you want? The fear is of failure. The fear is of being overcome by the conflict, being overcome and not being able to stand against the horde. That's the fear. But the hope is being able to successfully go through this, clear out the stuff that doesn't work, or if you're in a position of management, maybe transfer or unemploy those people so that you can get the group that actually is supportive and you can train into greatness. Every group is going to have those one or two people that want to stir the pot, and you have to pluck them out or you're going to have problems. And that's what this is saying, is be the leader that you want to be. Your hope is to be this really influential person. Then work that direction, because if you focus on the fear, then it's going to fail every time, because that's what fear does, is fear makes you want to fail further, so you don't want to go that route. But you're the one that has the control. You've got two paths ahead of you with the hopes and fears. Your overall outcome, this is kind of tying everything together here, and then we'll hop into some oracle cards, is the Seven of Swords. You still may have to defend what you have earned, but it's not going to be as big of a struggle, because this is you. You're the guy that's got the big bone. You're the one who's fought the battles. The swords are everywhere saying, I have conquered this. This is some little upstart going, oh yeah, well, I'm going to. No, you're not. So your outcome is going to be, once you get through this situation and you move into that point where the illusion has been broken and you realize you actually did succeed, even though it felt like you weren't going to, the outcome is going to be, you know what, now it doesn't matter. Oh, look at you, you're a little upstart who's trying to push against me in business. Step back, kid, you don't know what you're talking about. And that's not saying an age thing, that's saying you have not been here long enough and you do not understand the dynamic of whatever it is you're working on. And if it's talking more in a personal life situation, you've been through the conflict, you've overcame it, you and your partner are stronger because of it. So when someone comes up and is like, meh, 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 you can easily be like, go on, go away, we don't need you, because you have already achieved that much of success and control. Right now, it does not feel great. That's what the energy is coming forward here. But you are in a really good spot because you've actually connected with your higher self and your shadow. They're actually working together to support you. You've got other people who are there to support and help you as well. It's that inner illusion that might be a little bit of a chaotic thing right now, but the outcome is you've got this, guys and gals. You are the ones who can succeed in this when others may not do so well. There's some underlying energy of the Four of Pentacles as well. We'll just bring this one up. And when we look at this card, this is your success. You think you are actually in a really good spot to succeed and move forward. The Four of Pentacles, even though this is your contrary energy, because Earth does not go well with air, this is saying you have secret talents that you may not even realize yet that may need to be woke up. You know about these ones. This one you're suspicious, you know is there, you haven't played with it yet, but you have other talents coming forward. They're also saying that part of the subconscious aspect of this is waking up more of the true, authentic version of you, and by doing so, you will succeed in a way and bring in abundance that you may not have realized you even had access to or was even an option before. And that's where this outcome card is saying you don't have to worry about the other person anymore. You've got this. You succeeded beyond expectation and beyond what other people have suspected or thought about you. So now we'll hop into the Oracle, and I'm using the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck. With these, each card we will pull is going to either give you a clarification for the tarot or answer a question that you've been thinking about or wondering about. So I would suggest is pause before I pull each card, ask your question, and we can see what the answer comes forward. If you want to go that route, you can just watch it straight through and see if it clarifies the reading for you. So our first card is Opportunity Knocks, Go For It. And they're saying that this is not really that applies to the reading, but not really. This is more about, what are you willing to create? What are you wanting to do? What is it, something that you've been kind of putting off, pushing back? The universe is coming forward to say, if you're in a situation where everything else is done, the very next step is to move forward, do so. Opportunity knocks, go for it. This is where the universe is saying, whatever it is that you have been wanting to work on, this is the time to push. This is the time for that growth ability. When we look at this image, and I think it's called Bubble World by Josephine Wall, each bubble has a universe in it. Each one of these little bubbles has a dream, has a potential within it. They're focusing on this world, but even within this world, you have this world and this world. So the options, the opportunities that you have right now, Air, are massive. They're monumental. And how are you going to use them? Universe is giving you a lot of options right now. Not always the most pleasant, like, can you just limit it? But they're saying, you got the open key. What do you want to do? Your second card is the Peacock with Raise Your Standards. And they're saying this one's going to apply a little bit more to the reading, the tarot, but it can apply to other things too. When you're starting off, you're not sure where you're going. You might feel conflicted. There might be some chaos going on. But the Peacock is saying, are you looking at things from the chicken's perspective, or are you looking at it from the perspective of the peacock? Are you looking at it from the mundane everyday, or are you looking at it from the magical and the miraculous? This is a call for you to step into your true abilities, step into your authority. If you're in a position where you're moving into management, do so. Show integrity, be honest, and be fair with your actions. But step into this higher frequency. When you look at the difference between people who are really successful in high positions, they just act a little bit different. And it's not like good, bad, and different. It's just they really do act a little bit different. And what this is saying is raise your standards. Why are you looking in the mud when you're being offered the buffet table? Why are you looking at the buffet table when you're being offered Michelin star food? Just so we're clear, that does not always mean better. But raise the standard. Raise where you think you belong. Raise what you think you deserve. The universe is not saying you're limited in any way, shape, or form. Our limits, in most cases, are right here, right between our ears. Because that computer likes to tell us that we're not worth anything. God, Source, Divine, the universe, however you look at this, is saying, you're worth so much more than you could possibly imagine. Why are you limiting yourself? So that's your second oracle. Your third oracle card is the 7 Deadly Sins, humanity's destructive traits. Don't get wrapped up in the negative. Push back against it with truth, with authenticity, with integrity, with morals, with ethics. Tap into your virtues to combat the darkness. The chaos that may be going on in the world or in your personal life right now, or even inside your own head, because those are 3 entirely different things. But the chaos that is going on right now may be calling you to step into a higher frequency, step into an ability to push back. This could be the hidden talent that you have from your subconscious. This could also be something that you have been considering or wanting to do anyway. Universe is saying it's time to clear things out of your bubble. It is time to go through, figure out what's going on, detox what you can, start working on the rest, but also be willing to push back on people who are trying to tie you in vices. Sometimes, there's certain things, not a big deal once in a while, but when it becomes the only means of escape, that's the problem, and that's the 7 Deadly Sins aspect. Is what is it that does not work? Release it and move beyond it. That's going to set you up for a lot better future. So, with that, I will let you guys go. Thank you for swinging by. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions, and I will see you in the next video.